So hello everyone. Thank you all for hopping on. Wow, we got a packed house tonight. I like it. I like it. I should have started the recording while I had that video playing because just a little note about me for those of you on here who do not know me. Um, that is typically what I listen to throughout my day. And especially before I do a Zoom like this, where I want to impact people, I want to share my story, I want to be an inspiration for you. No matter what kind of day I've had, which I've had a pretty bad day today, got some news from my mom from her doctor that wasn't very well. So we'll be praying on that. But life happens. And so I always keep my mind fed with that kind of motivation, that kind of drive, which keeps me going. So I wanted to share that with you guys tonight. I thought it was a great video. Um, and welcome. If you guys don't want to show your faces, you don't have to, but I would really like to see your faces. I see John's face and I see Tanya's face. And I see the other Tanya's face. It's so cool that we have two Tanyas, and my sister's also Tanya. So it's like Tanya, Tanya, Tanya. Anyways, I really just wanted to get you guys together tonight because I wanted to be able to share my story, my journey in this industry for any of you. Maybe you're just looking at purchasing products. You probably all came from my first to know chat, or I personally invited you, or someone on here personally invited you. But I thought sharing my story about this industry could maybe give you a little bit of education on the industry to show you. I know, like, you're going to hear about when I found this industry, and I thought, no way in hell can I do something like that. So I just felt like I wanted to share with you a couple of people, including myself, on how we've made this either our full time or part time income and how it's impacted our lives so much. So welcome, welcome. And I have my wine. So, guys, here's one thing you're going to learn about me. If you're on my team, you already know. If you're not on my team yet and you're going to come on my team, yes, typically Zooms, we have wine or coffee or water, whatever you want. If you don't know me, my name is Sandy Humpel. I was originally born in North Carolina and I moved to Virginia at the age of 13. I met my husband there. He was in the Navy and he was from St. Petersburg, Florida. So we used to visit here. I mean, I was visiting here for years before I ever decided to literally pack up my entire, I shouldn't even say pack up my house because I didn't pack it up. I sold everything I owned, including the house, packed two dogs and my kid in his car, and I drove in my car behind them, and we headed to Florida. So that's how I got here 8 years ago. I am now in Madeira Beach, Florida. If you don't have your thing muted, can you just mute it for me? Thank you. But anyways, so I'm going to run this through as quick as I possibly can. I don't want to keep you guys here all night. I want everyone else to share their stories. But just a little bit about me. So I was the kid who did not like school at all. I was bullied in school. And so my mom was a single mom with three children. She moved us very, very often. I went to several different schools. I got bullied. I was always the new girl. I never had friends to sit with. And so it led me into hating school. So I dropped out of high school 3 days into my 11th grade year. I went to gym class. And one thing I always got bullied about was my skinny legs. I know, I know. Like most women were like, I wish I had skinny legs, right? What we didn't know back then that we know now. But back in the day when girls were developing and Sandy had no breast and these skinny long legs and just nothing, I wasn't like the other girls. So I walked into gym class. My first gym class was my 11th grade year, and he hand us our uniforms and said, you guys need to go dress out. And I was like, nope, not gonna do it. And he was like, if you don't do this, you'll go to ISS and school suspension because you're refusing to participate, all this stuff. I just looked at him. I said, I hope you have a nice day. And I walked out. I went home and I called my mom and I said, I dropped out of high school. And she was like, oh, no, you didn't. If you dropped out of high school, like, you got to move with your dad. So my dad lived in North Carolina, where it is legal to drop out of high school before the age of 18. And so I said, that's fine. I packed my little Horizon car that only one door worked and loaded up some clothes. And I went to my dad's and I got my GED within 1 week, proved to myself I wasn't dumb. It was just the atmosphere, the environment that I was in. Anyways, the reason I wanted to tell you that is because I'm not I didn't go to college, guys. I have two children that I gave birth to, and then I have two stepchildren that I raised since they were 5 and 6. I've been married twice. I got married at the young age of 18, had my baby at 18, got divorced by 20, got married again at 25, and I got divorced just a couple years ago. Again, so I just like to preface like my story with that, because the biggest thing that I've found in this industry is a lot of people hold back from really doing it because you feel like all those influencers with thousands of people following them, and they, not to joke on Tanya, but they got these incredible reels where they're like sliding and dancing, and they know all this stuff about the compensation plan and the products. That is not me. So I just want you to know that. So Maxis, you can be successful without that. And here's how I'm going to tell you how it happened. So I was a stay-at-home mom when I was married to my husband, who was in the Navy. We were raising 4 children. It gets very expensive. And so I love the fact that I became a stay-at-home mom so I could get my kids up and get them off to school and feed them breakfast and get them off the bus and take them to their sports. I loved all that. But I found myself a little bit lost when my kids were 8 and 15. Oh, wow. Can't even believe I just said that. 8 and 15 seems like so long ago. But my kids were 8 and 15, and I literally just started thinking, like, I mean, what am I going to do with myself? Like, my kids are going to grow up one day. And so I wanted to be a social worker. It had been a dream of mine for a very long time. I wanted to work with like foster children to give them a loving human being. Um, I wanted to work with kids who were getting adopted to help them find homes. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I researched it, and I was like, all right, you got to go back to college. I enrolled in college 5 times, even bought the books, stood in line to enroll, all the good stuff. This is back in the day, guys, before it's all online. And then I started researching the pay, and it was like nothing. I'm like, well, I'm going to do all this emotional work that I'm probably going to bring home to my family, and it's really not going to contribute much money. I don't think I want to do that. And I really don't want to go to college, to be honest. So I was like, wipe that off the board. Well, I could go back to property management because I did do that in my single years between my first divorce, my second divorce. Could go back and do that. But God, I really don't want to work 8 to 5 and someone else raise my kids again. And no, that's not going to work. So I was like, scratch that. Anyways, so my ex-husband was a very huge fan of network marketing. And he came to me with this idea. I got this couple coming over tonight, Sandy. They do network marketing. It's cool. They're not going to sell to us or anything. I made like dinner and it had like all these bottles of wine. I'm so excited. Like we're going to have a couple over. No, this girl tried to sell me jewelry all freaking night so bad that I text my husband, literally sitting at the table, and I said, these people need to leave my house now. Like, you got to make it work. I don't want to be sold to like that. I don't like it. So when they left, we had a conversation about network marketing, and I was like, I don't want to do that. I don't like sales. I don't want to be that girl. I don't want to be at someone's dining room table and she's texting her husband telling him to kick me out. So fast forward a little bit. I bought a tanning salon because I thought, this will be easy. I'm going to be the owner. I'm going to make a lot of money. Yeah, that's all lies. I bought a tan salon. My husband got emergency deployed to Afghanistan about 2 months later. So I was left with 2 children full time, raising them by myself and running this tanning salon by myself. So I was working from open, which opened at 9, but I was there by 7:30. So someone else, my mother, was helping me with my children. And then I wouldn't get home till 9 or 10 o'clock at night, because when you own a brick and mortar business, nobody's going to run it like you. So anyway, so that didn't work. Sold that tanning salon. And then a girl that I had known that visited my tanning salon walked in, and like one of the last days that I was there, and she had this wrap that she had put on her belly. And she goes, Sandy, have you ever seen these wraps? I'm like, what the hell? A wrap? Like, is that really going to work? She goes, it made my mom belly look so much better. I'm like, all right, where do I sign up? How do I buy it? Right. So I literally went home that day, got on the internet, found some girl who was selling these wraps. And I was like, I told my husband when he got home from work, I'm like, I really want to buy these wraps. I really want to make my mom belly look better. And he was like, yeah, sure, babe. But you know what? It's like $40 more to become a distributor. That's what they called them. And you should just do it. I was like, yeah, whatever. But you know what? I'm just going to tell him yes so that I can just get these wraps. So that's exactly what I did. I just said, yeah, I'll sign up for it. I'll be a distributor. Anyways, the joke I thought was going to be, on him. Anyways, so I signed up. And that night, I made a simple Facebook post, guys, and I maybe had 100 friends, if that. And I made a simple Facebook post. I said, I got these wraps that are going to make my mom belly look better. That's what my girlfriend said. And I went to bed. Didn't think twice about it. Woke up in the morning with like 18 messages. And I'm like, what? All these people want this wrap. And I knew that if I sold the wraps, I was going to make money. And I'm like, oh, hold on. So I just started telling my girlfriends, yeah, here's where you can get them. I had never even tried it. I didn't even know if they really worked. I just knew what this girl told me. So, anyways, started falling in love with it. It was fun. I was like sharing this product that I had never even put on my body, and people were buying from me, and I was making money while I still was getting my kids off to school and cooking dinner and putting them in bed at night. Like, I was like, is this really possible? Holy crap. I never knew anything like this existed. So, anyways, and then about 2 weeks in, I was like, wow, I'm making money. So I started telling my girlfriends who were stay at home moms, I'm like, you should be doing this because I'm not missing out on my family and I'm home and I'm making money. In my first month in, I made $1,250. And I was like, wow, I did that around my children's schedule. Damn, this might be legit and I might be honest about it. So I fell in love. I was with that company 4.5 years. I did retire my spouse with that company. I hit the top of the company in 18 months. Guys, this is someone who did not have a leader. I did not have any direction. I literally figured it out by failure, a lot of failure, but I did it because I loved it. I fell in love with it. Anyways, fast forward 4.5 years, I was a little bit burned out because they didn't have any systems. I didn't have any leadership. It was just me. So this job that I was working for freedom started to take over my freedom. And it was literally taking over my life, my kids' life. That company, we handed out cards, blitz cards. All right, I'll just say it. This recorded Zoom. I think it's fine. It was It Works Global. If you guys do not know, the wrap company, the black, green, and bling. So I was hosting once a week hotel meetings, once a week home parties. I was also going to all my teams' parties. So I was not seeing my kids anymore. And I was like, I'm making great money, but this sucks. Like, I don't see my family. And so I woke up one day and our income had dropped from that business because I was slacking because I couldn't keep up with it. I was in my messenger on my phone 80 hours a week. So I woke up one day and I told my ex-husband, Dave, I said, this is not happening anymore. I'm done. I quit network marketing. I don't want to hear about it. I don't want to think about it. I'm going to go get a job that I can go to work at 9 and come home at 5. Like I said, I would never do again, but I wanted to be there for my children. And he's like, wait a minute. I need to show you something. So I've been following John and Nadia Melton. Actually, they don't even know it, but they are the ones that taught my team everything because I stole everything they taught me and I taught my team that. I just duplicated it. So we have been following them for a couple years. I did not know that my ex was in touch with John Melton and they were like buddies. And he was like, I just want you to take one look. They've got this incredible system, Sandy. So you don't have to do all that anymore. And I'm like, all right, I'll look, rolled my eyes, thought, yeah, whatever. So I took one look. They had what's called the ATM system. It was a very easy, they had a Facebook page that was already created. Some of y'all are already in social retail, so you know what that is. But they already had a page that was created by these leaders with videos. When someone asked me something, literally, I could just tag them on a page or add them to the page, tag them on a video, and then message them and say, what did you think of the video? And I was like, all right, this is pretty freaking genius. Sign me up. Let's go. One more roll. And listen, I was with Modere for 8 years and I loved, loved, loved Modere. I made the most money that anyone in my family has ever made, coming from a high school dropout teenage mom. I made, within my first month, I came over with one team member, one business partner, and I made 10 grand my first month. And I was like, yeah, the compensation plan rocks. This easy plug and play system rocks. And then about 4 months in, I made 65,000 in 1 month, and I dropped to my knees and cried and called my mama and said, I cannot believe this. I'm sending like screenshots to all my family, like, look what I just did. Because my brother used to make fun of me, tell me that like I was never going to make $1 million and blah, blah, blah. Like people just do that, right? They just knock us down. So, anyways, was with Modere 8 years. If you guys do not know the story, Modere, without warning, without notice, on a Friday afternoon on April 11th, on payday of our commissions, closed their doors. They filed Chapter 7, and that's it. Gone. Nothing. I had nothing. So the 8 people that I came into Modere with, that were here, that were in my group chat before I even enrolled, said, what are we going to do? We've got all these people lost, that this was our full-time careers. I mean, I'm a single mom, and I say single mom, I say that lightly. She is 21, but she does live with me. And I have responsibilities. Like I had, my lifestyle was already established from my income, from what I make with Modere. So, anyways, I was lost. I was numb. I didn't even know. I literally felt like, all right, let me start. And I had 1,200 messages. People offer me bridges. If you don't know what that is, they offer you money to come to their company. People offer me, like, I'll give you this much money up front if you'll join my team. I had all these people coming at me. And then John Melton, who is my personal sponsor, my mentor, and now one of the co-founders of this Nueva, he came to me, he goes, Sandy, we are pulling it together, but we're going to create our own company. And I'm like, hallelujah. He goes, everything that we love in Modere, we're going to keep. The stuff that we didn't love, we're going to get rid of, and we're going to make it even better. And I'm like, oh my Jesus, like Jesus just answered all of my prayers, all in like one little voice message, because I trust these people. They taught me everything I know. I believe in them. They're not just my business partners. Those are my friends. Those are people that went through the divorce with me, with my ex-husband. They went through probably 5 deaths with me. Like these people I talk to more than I even talk to my family, because I'm with them every day working in the trenches. So this whole Nueva, it's only 12 days since conception, I think 12, 13 days. I don't even know now. I don't even know what day it is. So I'm pretty excited. So there was no doubt in my mind that I wanted to go with them. There was no doubt in my mind that I wanted to do this all over again. I got like one more run left of me. But I like to say, I'll do this one more time, and this time it's going to be it. Third time's a charm, right? So I'm very, very excited. And these products are unlike anything that anybody else has. I know the way that these people lead. They are building a business for us. So it's people that, it's not like these random people starting this network marketing company. These are people who have been in the trenches, who have built their own teams, who have built their own business. Some been in 30 years, 20 years. Some made 7 figures, 8 figures, 6 figures. They know what they're doing, and I trust in them. And so I pretty much started going to my team and saying, hey, this is what we're doing. This is what I'm doing. It is your choice what you want to do. But I have not been this fired up and this excited. I can't even say I was this excited when I joined Modere, because I didn't know that it was going to work, and I had my doubts and blah, blah, blah. I don't feel that. My vision is clear. My goals are clear, and my mission is clear. And I believe that if you want to level up your life, and you want to do something different in your life, or maybe you've done it before, maybe it didn't work, maybe you weren't with the right team, maybe you didn't like get with you didn't feel your team a little bit. That's kind of why I want to do this. I am just a down to earth country North Carolina girl. I drink my wine, I live on the beach, I'm a beach bum, I love to lay out at the beach. I love live music. I say the bad words often. I'm trying not to say it because y'all don't know me, but typically I slip a lot of bad words on my Zooms. I tell you just to warn your kids or mute me or whatever. But I love my team. My team has become my family. Some of them have been with me 6, 7 years. And so that's my story. That is my story, all like rolled into one quick little bit. But so I want to introduce someone else, and I want you to hear their story, because everybody is different and everyone comes here in a different part of their life. and everyone comes and starts these businesses for a different reason. Sometimes it's just product, sometimes it's just for an extra $300, sometimes for an extra like $300,000 a year, like however big you dream or however you want this to be for you, however successful you want to become, um, you can. So I want to introduce you to Tanya with an O. I met Tanya in a Facebook group online. I have now met her in person, but we've been in business together. I want to say, I don't know, I'm gonna let her tell you because I don't really remember how long. But, anyways, I met her in a Facebook group. This is how easy this business works. This is how it works. You meet people online, they like you, they vibe with you, they join you, and then you become like really close friends. So, without further ado, Tanya Marie, let's share your story.
Yes, thank you. Honestly, since we had our back office just taken from us, I can't tell you the day that I actually started Modere, but I want to say it's been about 4.5 years that, like, since we met. It could be less, could be more, but um, yeah, no, I'm not going to go as far back as you did. I'm not going to tell like my whole life story or anything like that. But for me personally, meeting you and just being open to this opportunity and having it presented to me has just transformed our lives in so many ways. And that's why I'm so passionate about sharing it, because I know so many people who I've talked to who feel like I could never do that. I'm not like her. I don't have those skills, or I have no value, or just being afraid of stepping out and getting uncomfortable and doing this business. And maybe you're not here for the business and you're here just to hear our stories, just to support us, or here for the products because you're excited about what's coming from what just happened. Um, but for me, just to where do I begin? I'll start with mental health because that's like a big part of my story. And if you know me, you already know that I'm really big on mindset. And I was actually diagnosed with manic depression when I was 8 years old. And that's a really young age. But if you think about it, I've spent from the time I was 8 years old until now, I'm 32, dealing with that, coping with that, learning from that. And how do you deal with that? And for me, I mean, with mental illness, you work on your mindset. So my entire life has all about been about personal development. And I used to be a stylist and I wanted to be a lawyer and I had all these wild dreams. And I was also bullied in high school, like Sandy. I feel like, we're so similar in that way in so many ways. But it taught me how to have tough skin. And it taught me that I don't need other people's approval to do what I want to do. If I want to be a cosmetologist, lawyer, psychologist all at the same time, I can do that. So I've actually been to college twice, 2 times. First, I went for general education. I actually had to quit that early because of some things that had come up in my life. I had lost my license, so I've had my wild streak. Like, nobody's perfect. We're not saints here. Um, but I feel like that's a big part of my journey because I had to step back from that college, and it really made me think, like, do I really want to go and be a lawyer and spend the next 8 years in college and paying hundreds of thousands of dollars into this higher education? So then I went with the route, after having a couple kids with my husband, who was my high school sweetheart. I went the route of, well, maybe I should just go do hair. I love to do hair. I love to make people feel good. I love to make them feel pretty and feel seen and take pictures of them and tell them how beautiful they are because that's just the kind of person I am. Because I feel like there was a point in my life when I needed that, when I didn't feel worth it, when I didn't feel beautiful. And honestly, I really just didn't like myself. We're all our own worst critics. So I found a very good way to deal with that is just help other people feel good. And it does something in your mind to make yourself feel better too. So helping people helps you. I learned that early. So I went to go be a cosmetologist, and I actually ended up opening my own little chair shop, invested a couple $1,000s into, my own business doing hair. And it was going good for a little while, but I kind of got burnt out. And I was like, this is just a lot to manage. And I had to manage my whole schedule. I had to continue to fill products. I had to continue to manage all the discounts. And like Sandy said, like that brick and mortar business, I mean, it's not easy. It takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of time. And it was taking me away from my family as well. And I was like, I don't know, maybe we should take a break from this. And my husband was all for it because in reality, I was actually only making enough to pay for daycare for our 3 kids, which is crazy. I mean, I spent thousands of dollars to get this education. I have my own business. And even when I was actually working for a business, I was still barely making more than what we were paying for daycare for 3 children because it was just as much as our mortgage. So it's like, okay, well, we're going to pay a second mortgage for you to live in this house for 8 hours a day and for them to feed you and for us to just work and survive. I decided, okay, well, we're going to take a break from cosmetology and I'm going to stay home and I'm going to just take this time with our kids and I'm going to be there for them and do what I really want to do, which is be a mom. So it was very difficult because my husband is no doctor. He's not like a millionaire making tons of money. And obviously, we all know what it costs to live. It costs quite a bit. And it's not the simplest thing to live with a family of five on one income right now. But luckily, I did Dave Ramsey's Financial Peace University. And I'm like, we've got a budget. We've got this. We can do it. We just got to live below our means. We can make it work. And we did for quite a while. But it was hard. We were living paycheck to paycheck and we had to tell ourselves no a lot. I'm still not a fan of driving new vehicles. There's nothing better than a 2010 Dodge Grand Caravan because those things go forever. Like even cab companies can tell you that's the best van to ever drive. And I never saw myself driving a van until I became a mom and needed 3 rows and stow and go. But no, we just lived modestly. And in that time, I really got lonely and I started to feel like I was losing myself and losing my identity and losing like my sense of purpose and my sense of belonging. Like, where do I belong in this world? I just traded my career. I love my family and I wouldn't trade them for the world, but like I was literally just feeling so lost in the moment. And I ended up actually breaking. So after years of staying home with my children, I did have this mental break that kind of pushed me over the edge and it caused turbulence in my husband and I's relationship to the point where we separated and everything was ripped out from under me because I was a stay-at-home mom. I had nothing. Sorry, I'm gonna tear up. Oh, I told myself I'm not gonna cry. Like I'm not gonna cry on this.
Girl, let
But
it out. Let it out. We all here with you, girl.
yeah, no, I mean, and I wouldn't wish that on anybody. Even though like I felt like I worked just as hard as he did and I did a lot. And I could have had, I could have stayed working and I could have built myself up, but I chose I'm gonna build my family, I'm gonna build our house, I'm gonna build our home, and I'm gonna take my time to build that. In reality, society doesn't see that as equal. So, and I love my husband. Sometimes he gets under my skin. I'm not gonna lie. We got back together, so we did not actually separate. But that was a very big eye opener for me as a stay-at-home mom to have nothing in my name, even though I worked just as hard to build it, to have everything ripped out from under me in the blink of an eye because somebody else chose, you don't deserve this. That was huge for me. And I decided, like, okay, well, my mental health is not in the place that I want it to be. So I decided to start doing more things for myself, taking care of myself better. And I did start going to therapy and just working out a plan of like building myself back up to where I was because I was not that person. I was a shell of a person that I once was. I felt like I used to be so powerful when I was out there in the world. And in that time is when, intro, I actually met Sandy in a Facebook group. I was just looking for community. I was looking for connection. And Facebook was another opportunity for me to meet new people in Facebook groups. And I met Sandy and we got on the topic of business. And I was like, hey, I've tried other things like this before. She's like, no, I promise you it's nothing like that. And I was like, well, I hope not, because I never had any success with those. I've invested in these other businesses, and I'm not going to complain because I actually do feel like there's a lot of other businesses out there that have good products. I've got my kitchen's filled with them. But I told her I was like, yeah, I don't know if I'd ever be successful at doing this because I've never had success at it before with the previous companies that I tried. Um, but then she showed me the products, and I was like, but I could afford to use those products. I've had 3 10-pound babies. I've gained 65 pounds. You're showing me your weight loss results, her weight loss results, and like the health benefits that they're getting. I saw all the things that these were doing. I was like, okay, well, you know what? It doesn't cost much more to just start the business and I get a bigger bang for my buck. So I jumped in with Modere. If you're here and you know my story, you know I jumped in with Modere directly as a social marketer, and I wasn't thinking that I would really have much success. I said, if I could make a couple extra $100 a month, or even just $100 a month to pay a bill that we have, and then earn these products at a discounted rate, I would be happy. I wouldn't lose anything because I get the benefits of the products. So I did it, and I was like, okay, I don't really know what I'm doing right now, but I trust you. And she plugged me into M Life Nation, which is John and Nadia's. I love John and Nadia. And funny story, I felt like I was so annoying to John and I didn't even know who he was or like his title, his rank, or even that he was in the top 50 earners in the entire industry. I was asking all the questions. And I was like, oh my goodness. When I learned who he is, I was like, and he took the time to help me, poor petey little me who knew nothing, like who I didn't show him that I had much talent at the time at all. So he's just a real human. And yeah, I just did exactly what they said. And the business started taking off. I started getting results with the products and my mind was just blown. I was like, there's no way this is working right now. Um, and the connections that I was making along the way, I started to feel like I had a purpose and I was feeling more fulfilled. I'm going to tell you just what this industry and what social retail can do, because that's what's next. You know, we know who built social retail. We know who made the duplicatable systems. We know who gave us the tools and the system to do it all. And we know that we're making social retail 3.0 is what I call it. Like, because there's so many more amazing things coming, and we've seen the Zooms, we know the people, but just the regular social retail. I came into thinking I'm going to make a couple extra $100 a month. Well, you times that by a lot more, and we were able to pay off piles of debt. We were able to just say yes to more things. We were able to build up an emergency savings. We paid off all of our vehicles, bought a new camper. We were able to get into a new home. I was able to make multiple streams of income doing other things using the skills and the tools that I learned from Sandy, John, Nadia, Tony, Sarah, all the people who are building this. Like, it's just so valuable to me. And that is why I'm so passionate, because I feel like if I could help one more person who is in my position just get plugged in and learn from these people who taught me everything I know, it's worth it. Even if it's just that one person who needs it, it's residual. And I had a lot of work ahead because we moved a 5-person family into a 2-bedroom house with the intention of finishing our basement. And it's an investment home so that we can finish it, sell it, and hopefully get out into the country where we want to be with more land and space and privacy. But while I was working, because we decided, we're do-it-yourselfers, we're going to do the basement ourselves. And we decided to do it ourselves. And while I was working, from the time I woke up to the time I went to sleep, my business was still paying me. And it just kind of blew my mind that something would do that. But if you do know my story, I also stepped away from it for a little bit. I kind of felt burnt out. I had a team and I had a lot that I was doing, and I felt like I was in maintenance mode. So I tried some other things, and I feel like this is a big part of my story and what's coming next, because as I was out there looking at other things, trying new businesses, looking at business models, looking at compensation plans, looking at products, all the things, I tried them all, I seen them all, I done them all. Something kept drawing me back to Modere. I was like, well, for one, it's the products because they were amazing. And for two, which is actually a huge thing, it's the community. I did not feel that closeness. I did not feel that realness, that rawness, the people who are in the trenches with you and who understand you and actually see you. Because everywhere else, I felt like I was unseen, unheard, and minimized, just because I wasn't a big title in their company and they didn't know who I was. Leaders didn't see you. And I was like, well, wait a second. I've seen this before in other companies I tried before Modere. So what was different about this community that I found at Modere? Well, it's leaders that actually care, leaders that actually see you, they hear you, they believe you, and they believe in you, and they help you. So that really drew me back to Modere. And of course, my amazing customers, because I was a team builder and a customer pod builder. Like, I was like, I just miss everything about it. So when I came back to Modere, we were growing, we were doing big things, and it was completely unexpected that they would just pull the rug and shut the door in our faces right before payday. I was like, wait, what? We were seeing rank advancements. We were growing. A lot of people were just coming back. A lot of people were coming in. How could this happen? But me and all my optimism, I was like, okay, well, there's a reason for everything. I don't believe in coincidences. I don't believe that things just happen to us. I believe, there was a reason I felt drawn back, and I was like, okay, well, what's next then? I felt all the feelings. I felt hurt. I got mad. I even dented my stainless steel tumbler on the counter. Like, what the heck is going on here? And then when John was like, we're just going to build our own door. Like, we're just going to do our own thing. We're not doing this anymore. No more private investing companies who can just rip the rug from out of you. We're doing it for marketers, by marketers. I was like, this is why I'm here. This is what my entire existence has trained me for, has built me up for. We're doing it. So I was all in, and I was like, yep, whatever you do, I'm doing. And then after all the Zoom updates and everything that we've been learning and just seeing the pieces just fall into place, I'm just fired up. I'm excited, and I cannot wait to see where we go with this, because I know it's going to be big. It already is big. The momentum is just growing. Sorry if you can hear my dog barking. The kids are going crazy. But I think that's kind of my story. That's where we're at. I hope I covered it all.
You did. I mean, I don't think she covered the part that I really wanted her to cover, and that she hadn't had success in other companies, and she came into Modere, and under like our leadership and exact like little guidance, I mean, you hit like top ranks and like just within a couple weeks and months, and completely changed like the trajectory of her career. So
Yes.
Yeah.
It
So
made me believe that it was possible. Yeah, I don't think I did say that I hit the top ranks with, and Sandy is an amazing leader. Like I tell you what, like I'll point you in the direction of where you need to go because I want you to develop those leadership skills because you are leading your own business. And that is what she taught me. And it was just so effective. She just plugged me in and I just, boom.
Tanya has an incredible story, and that's exactly why I wanted to share multiple stories in here, because I wanted people to understand, like, we're not all the same, we're all different, we all come from different backgrounds, and yet I believe that anybody can do this business. Anybody, you just got to have a little bit of drive, and that you want it. You got to be able to make time for it. You've got to, and when I say time, listen, if you want to make an extra $300 a month, fine. When you're scrolling Facebook, maybe you're using the products and you share them. Okay. It's all up to you and the way that you want to work your business. So, anyways, all right. So, we're going to get the other Tanya on. She's going to share. Tanya's not, well, we don't really even have a team right now. So, I was going to say she's not even on the team, but she is on the team, but we don't have an enrollment link yet. I wanted her to come on because this is exactly how this business works. And so I wanted Tanya to come on, Tanya A, and share a little bit about her and why she wants to do this and how she found it and all the good things. All right, Tanya.
Hi, Sandy. Hi, everyone. My name is Tanya Marie as well, TA. That's why she calls me Tanya A. So she's got two rock stars named Tanya Marie on her future team. So yeah, I wanted to kind of come on and say, I've been following Sandy for, well, when you were at It Works, and then you went to Modere. So
Yeah.
I've seen, your ups and your downs and your growth. A little bit about me really quick. I'm a realtor in the Hampton Roads, Virginia area. I make six figures. It's up and down. It's a hustle. I constantly have to put the money back in. So when I make six figures, do I really make that? No. But, I thought I might be looking for something to kind of help me with those ups and downs. Didn't know what that was or really if that would happen, but I had been following Sandy for years. Like I said, she was with It Works. And then she went to Modere, and I saw her always drinking her coffee on the beach. And then I think one time she told me about her paycheck, and I was like, oh my gosh. But I had just gotten into real estate. So I had to go that avenue, right? Well, and Deborah, my best friend, is on the call tonight as well. I was with Deborah on a cruise, an 8-day cruise. 2 weeks ago? We were April 11th, we were in Grand Turks Caicos.
I'm so glad you share this part, because I was like, I hope she shares that part, because it was
So, and Deborah can contest to this. So I was in our cabin and I said, oh, Modere closed. Oh my God. And she was like, what are you talking about? What's Modere? And I instantly thought about Sandy because I knew Sandy was really making a great living and income. And then closed just like that. And so I messaged her and she was like, oh my God, I'm lost. I don't even know what I'm going to do. I said, I'll call you when I get off the cruise. I'll talk to you when I get off the cruise. So I did not call her with any intention of following her, or I just was concerned, as a friend that had been following her all that time. What are you going to do, girl? What are you going to do? And then she was like, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to put on my big girl panties and I want you to go on this Zoom and we're going to look at this and I want you to tell me what you think. And that's what I did. And I said, oh, holy shit. Excuse my friend. This is amazing. Okay. So I called my friend Barb, who's on this call. She's a nurse. I said, what do you know about this hydrogen water? What is this? What is this stuff? And she's like, that is the bomb stuff. And then I started learning about peptides. So then I called another friend of mine, Sheba. She's on here as well. She is a single mom in Wisconsin, and she's looking for something as well. And I called her and I said, what do you know about peptides? She said, girl, let me tell you about peptides. I know all about them. And she's got her own story with that. So she's here to learn. So yes, I'm a successful realtor, but it's cutthroat. Okay. This business is cutthroat. We don't have the lock arms with someone, the camaraderie. And I've always looked for that with women in something. I've done a couple MLMs or direct sales years ago. Never thought I'd do it again until I started connecting with Sandy again this last 2 weeks. And I said, all right, I'm in. Then my best friend, Deborah, got on one of the Zooms and she texted me, I'm in. I said, this is a rocket ship. Okay. Like the other Tanya said, we're not just ground floor, we're in the basement watching it be made, and the sky's the limit. So if you think you can't, you can. So, and I'm going to be a testament to that. So we're all here accountable. Let's get in, let's do it, and let's connect in 2 months and let's see what our growth is for sure. I'm really, really excited about this one.
Oh my God, that's so like so true. That's what I feel in the basement. I mean, that is exactly what I feel, guys. Have you ever thought about like Apple? Let's talk about Apple. Like, don't you wish, like, damn, I wish I was in. Sorry, I just cursed. I wish I knew about Apple before Apple. I wish I would have invested in Apple before we knew about Apple. Well, that's where I feel like we are right now with Nueva. I feel, look, they just finalized the back office today. The founders of the company just got their links today. I don't even know if I'm allowed to share that, but I'm sharing it anyway. It's coming, and it's coming fast. So I can't tell you what the next couple of weeks, months, or years are going to do to everybody who gets in at this moment. The thing that is so important is get in now, because I have so many people who told me with Modere, when I came to Modere had only been in North America for like a couple years. Literally, when I got to Modere, there was like only 3 products. Okay. Our first event was like 500 people, which is very small for a company event. They were all over everywhere else, but they weren't in North America. So what I'm telling you is I've never been a part of a startup, whatever you want to call it, a new ground floor opportunity, a basement opportunity. I really like those words. But it's so inspiring, because here's the deal. In 5 years, this is your story. This is part of your story. I remember when Nueva didn't have a name. Or you can say, I remember when I watched that first Zoom, they didn't even have a product yet, right? Right now, they haven't launched anything. They've only put out 2 hero products, the peptides and the hydrogen water. That's all we have right now. But I mean, there's a lot to come. You guys are going to be mind blown by what's about to happen. Guys, listen, this is literally like a round table. Like, let's just chill, hang out. If you have any questions, please feel free to unmute yourself and just ask them. Don't ask me about any scientific facts about products, because I won't know the answer. Or conversation plan. I mean, I can tell you about Modere. I can tell you that at Modere, you don't have to be a big builder to make money. You can make money if you just use the products and share the products. And we're going to have the same thing here. There's going to be a founder's bonus. You want to be a founder in this company, because that founder's bonus is going to be huge on top of your commissions. So I hope that like we shared our stories tonight, and I just really wanted to connect with you guys and let you know exactly who we are as a team, as a business, as everything. Every day, consistently for 8 years, I post in my group chat every morning. I am a very hands-on leader. I will not spoon feed you, because I don't think that develops you to be a good leader so that you can lead a big team, but I will lead you to where you need to go. I will push you. I will motivate you. I will love on you when you need it, but I'll also give you an ass kicking if you ask me to. So, because I know I need it every now and then. And John has been my bestie at that. Sometimes we like go away from our business and we need it. So I've become that leader. But I love my team. And when we do team meetups, we do tacos, just to let y'all know. I pay for the entire team. We eat dinner together. We do tacos and margaritas normally. We have a whole lot of fun. Sometimes we end up in piano bars. Sometimes we end up back in our rooms. But it's really a great place to build an income, to build a family, to build a community, to build self-development. Here's what I will tell you about network marketing. It is just literally a self-development plan with a compensation plan attached. You're getting paid to grow. And that's my favorite part of this. So, any questions? Anybody have any questions or anything? You can unmute yourselves. We're literally like hanging out in a room together.
I just want to say something really quick for the ones that are here with me. Being a product of the product is all you need to be. You can do this with life. You can do it when you're in the car, you know, all that stuff. You can do this with life, be a product of the product. All you need is a TikTok, some social media, a website, and you can make income.
Well, I don't have it.
Follow what Sandy's
TikTok
doing.
sucks. Well, my TikTok sucks. I've built all this off Facebook.
That's the new way, girl. That's the new way.
Yeah,
I mean,
I don't have TikTok though, and I
you're
don't
fine.
think I want to be on TikTok.
Yeah.
You don't have to. You don't have to, but there's people like, you know, my friend Shiva, she's in a rural area. She might want to expand her local, you know, and maybe Facebook isn't so much her generation, right? So you don't have to, but there's a lot of potential with social media. You don't have to be like I am out here constantly hustling to get clients in a small community. The US is your oyster, right?
Well,
Yeah,
we're
well,
going to be
I live very
international.
rural too. I live in a town. Well, it's not even called a town. It's a village of 500 people.
Well, they need some hydrogen water, girl.
I
Yeah.
know they do.
And peptides. But we're going to actually, so on day one, when we open up, we are going to be open in a ton of countries. We are going to be international. So, yeah, don't even worry about that. Listen, guys, if you guys trust me or whoever invited you to this Zoom and you just take a chance on it, like what's the worst thing that can happen? Right? That's what I love to tell everybody. What's the worst thing that could happen? I believe in like opportunities get placed in our laps for a reason. I know that I've been in this industry because it was placed in my lap for a reason. Does anybody have any questions for me? Like anything about anything? It can be whatever you want.
I have a question.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm not on camera.
That's okay.
So Sandy, I've been following you for a long time, like a long time. I've just been watching what you're doing, and this opportunity seems really amazing. What exactly can we say or should we say, you know, if we're trying to get people on the Zooms or things like that?
Good question.
Okay. Yeah, that is a great question. And here is what I'm going to tell you. So I did not create that pre-enrollment chat yet, but I'm going to do it for my people. Basically, I am very simple. I love simplicity because when you try to start explaining stuff, people get overthink it and then they're done. So I just say, oh my God, I can't believe what I found. Like anyone that you know, like make a list of people. Who would you like your team to look like? Like if you were to build this with a team, who would you want on your team? So make a list of people and then I would just message them and voice clip them if you can and just say like, listen, I don't know your history or like if you've done this before, but make it very personal to yourself and say, I found this opportunity and when I'm getting in at the ground floor level and listen, if you want to go with me, I plan on building this big. Can I show you what it is? And then you add them to Social Retail Live and then you tag them on that first Zoom where they announce like the name, and then I go from there. So this is why I asked in the first to know chat who was in with me, and I do have a list of you guys who are in with me. And I know Tanya will do that, and the other Tanya will do that, and Terry, like whoever's on here that invited you. But that's what I'm gonna do. So I'm gonna create that chat tomorrow, and then I'm gonna guide you all on how to bring people in. And we're going to be using, I think the Zooms are done. I'm going to be honest. I think the Zooms are done until we launch. But we're going to build through May, like our pre-enrollment. And then I believe on June 1st, and I think it's going to be sooner than that, to be honest with you. I think it's when enrollment will come. So I will help you personally message me and I will help you like make it personal, not spammy. I don't really like spammy and I don't ever teach my people to be spammy. So we can definitely get that curiosity out there and get people asking you like, hey, what are you talking about? What are you doing? Like, you know, have you lost your mind?
I feel like I'm like a living, walking, breathing like testament to like just listen to Sandy. Sandy will tell you exactly what you need to do and don't overthink it because it works. And that's exactly what I did. Because when I first came into this, I was skeptical and I was like, okay, Sandy, I'm doing these things and I don't know if I'm seeing the results. And she's like, keep going, keep doing it. And she told me what to do. And it was just like a point came where the dominoes started falling because I was just doing what Sandy told me to do. And she's an incredible leader.
I'm really not going to tell you anything that doesn't work. Listen, I want you to be successful. So I'm going to tell you everything that I know that works, everything that I've done, that I've learned. So listen, my job as a leader is the failures that I did, you don't have to go through because I've already done it for you. So I'm going to help you not have to go through that. So you're like 3 steps ahead already. So anything that I can do for you, don't ever feel like you're bothering me. You can message me, you can private message me all the time. Ask me questions. Ask me like, what do I do now? How do I do this? I'm okay with it. I promise you. Even if I'm super busy, sometimes I might like get back to you a little bit later, but I will always get back to you and I will always help you. And another big thing is if you're on here and you want to meet the founders of Nueva, like I said, they were my really good friends, and I would love to introduce you all to them. So I actually am thinking of planning another Zoom and having some special guests on that Zoom. We got a lot of excitement to come. Like this is a time in our lives that I believe in 1 year, we're going to look back and be like, remember that Zoom we did? Remember when before we even had pre-enrollment yet? So I think like this is going to be a life-changing for a lot of you.
Sandy,
Good.
you should screenshot the screen. So when we're on our first trip incentive in like whatever it is on the beach drinking Mai Tais, that you can say, this is where it began.
I did take a picture, but I'm going to take another one. But Tanya can, she knows how to edit all this stuff. Like she knows how to do it. I'm just going to send it to her. But I do have a screenshot because you're right. When my memories come up next year, and we have our incentive trips, which by the way, that will be a big part of it. I never have missed one trip yet with Modere. So normally it's like you earn it through like points. It's not that hard to earn it. Trust me, if you're working your business, you'll earn it. But like I've been to Costa Rica, I've been to Mexico. I mean, out on a cruise, like so many things, and it's fully paid for, everything. So that's another big thing that we have in this industry. And even, let me just tell y'all one more thing. One more thing, I promise. If you work full time, the majority of the top leaders in this company worked full time when they got started. Busy people are productive people. So if you work full time and you're like, oh gosh, how am I going to make this work? Almost everybody that I know at the top of a company worked, probably not anymore. They're retired now from that job, but they all worked a full-time job. So you can make it work, and I can teach you how. Any other questions?
Nope, I'm excited.
Me too. I am so excited. I can't stop. So listen, if you're all in, whoever invited you tonight, I want you to reach out to them and say, I'm all in. I am just going to start adding people to my team chat. We're just going to start rolling as a team because that way you can be a part of everything. When we do our trainings, like I have a team Zoom every Tuesday night. And then we'll do like trainings on that. I'm going to do a couple more opportunity videos just like this so that we can invite more and more people. We have a couple weeks to get like people in with us. We want to launch as big as possible. I want you to launch in your first month commissions. You look at them and be like, oh my God, like it's summertime fun time. We can go on vacation. So I'm all about helping you do that. And so get back to the person who invited you tonight. And yeah, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out to me. I will like send you back to the person just so that you can get with them so that we can keep everyone intact. It's going to get a little crazy in the next couple of days, just to let you know, with like who goes where? How do I sign up? What do I do? But we're going to try to keep it all intact. So if you're in the first to know chat, please stay in that chat. Don't leave it, because that's where we're going to start with the pre-enrollment at. If you're already in and you know you're in and you're ready to do this, go ahead and tell your person, I'm ready to do this, and I will add you to our team chat. I changed our team name last night. We have a new team name now. It's going to be a little weird for me to get adjusted to, but we're starting new. We're building this together, locked arm in arm. I cannot wait to hear all of your stories and to see how Nueva changes your life. A lot. Look, we're all starting at zero, all together. So let's build this. Let's lock arms. Let's crush this together. And let's dream bigger than we've ever dreamed before. And I hope you guys all have an amazing night.